Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, my hair is crazy. I put on makeup today and my mental state is a little bit better. So I thought I would check in and make a video. Oh, so tired. So let me tell you what's been going on. So my last video, I can't remember exactly what I told you, but I think I complained about my long-term disability and all the stress it's causing me. So just a little recap. They decided that they have been paying me too much money, and they sent me a bill for $40,000 and said, the letter said, send us a check by July 16th, I think it was. So I had to laugh. Yeah, I'm not writing a check for $40,000 because it wouldn't be worth anything. But I did call them, and they are reducing my monthly payment a lot. And then from what I do get, they're cutting it in half and keeping half of it to repay them their $40,000. And so that's stressful. And it happened a little over 2 weeks ago. And I've been dealing with that stress, and I've been on an emotional roller coaster. It's been so hard that it's been hard to talk about. And I haven't told most people what's going on. And I have a lot of credit card debt. So even without the credit card debt, let's say we were 100% debt free, we're not going to have enough money to maintain our lifestyle. And it took me a little while to accept it, but we've decided to sell our house. And that breaks my heart because I love this house so much. But the proceeds of the house will enable us to pay off our debts so that we can hopefully live on what we get. And then we're going to move, hopefully, to the beach in Oregon. And I know that sounds crazy that we're moving from Utah to the beach to cut living expenses, but Utah has gotten super expensive to live in. They call this area Silicon Slopes. So a lot of the tech companies are moving here. And so it's supposed to be like Silicon Valley. And you can definitely see it in the housing market. House prices are skyrocketing. And that works in my favor right now, because that means that when we sell our house, we'll have enough money to pay off our debt and move. But it also makes it really hard for people to live here. It's hard to afford to buy a house, but it's also hard to afford to rent, because we wouldn't be able to find something to rent that would be less than what our house payment is right now. And that's why we're leaving Utah. And I have mixed feelings. At first, it was just heartbreaking because I love this house so much. And we're moving to a place where we have no friends, no family, and no doctors. We have a pretty good care team set up here. I have my home health nurse, and we have all of our specialists that understand what's going on with us as well as they can. And so those things are really hard to leave behind. But I actually got a letter from my doctor because she says that I'm going to feel better on the beach because the climate, sorry about that. The temperature doesn't change very much. And what was the other thing? Oh, the lower elevation. So here we're at 4,800 feet. And high elevations make me feel worse. And so, yeah. So it's good that it'll be good medically, but it's really hard emotionally. So in dealing with this, we have tried to find different ways to resolve our financial situation. And I have a new appreciation for the term predatory lending. And I want to tell you about it. So I made a note of a list of all the companies that reached out to me to try to lend me money. And let's see, there are, gosh, I'm not going to count them, over 20 different companies reached out to me to try to give me a loan. This one was going to charge me 165% interest. You guys, I didn't know that was legal. I thought that was illegal. 165% interest. And I have a car that's paid off. And so I wanted to get a title loan. I thought, oh, that should be an easy way to get a low interest loan that I could just use to pay my bills until our house sells and we get the proceeds and we can pay off our debts, right? Oh my gosh, you guys. I made the appointment. I went over there with the full intention of getting the loan. They charge over 100% interest as well. I can't remember the exact percentage rate, but I was appalled. I was offended on behalf of all low-income people in the country because, wealthy people don't go there. Wealthy people don't need that stuff. They are preying on low-income, desperate people. That's where I feel like I fall in. Even though my income isn't that low, I'm better off than a lot of low-income people. Because first of all, I have a house to sell. I have a car that's paid off. And so that right there puts me in a better place than a lot of people on disability. But it's just offensive to me that they would do that. I mean, it's a secured loan. If I don't pay you, you can repossess my car. But there were going to be monthly payments of over $700 a month. And that wasn't even going to pay down the principal. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I told the man, you need to seriously look for a new form of employment because I don't know how you can do this with a clear conscience. My husband thought I was mean, but I think that they're mean. It's just another, I'm going to sound like a conspiracy nut, but it's just another way that shows that our culture in the United States, our financial economy, totally benefits the corporations and does not benefit the individuals. If you are a person in need, this country will chew you up and spit you out. And so, yeah, you think about what is that saying for the Statue of Liberty? Bring me your poor and huddled masses, weary, whatever. That is so not America. That is a lie. They don't want sick people here. They don't want poor people here. They just want wealthy people. I don't know. Because at the same time, my credit card situation, let me talk about that. How did I get in this credit card situation? Let's talk about credit card debt. So after I bought a house, I think something happens when you buy a house that everybody's like, oh, she's a good risk to lend money to. So let's give her a credit card. So everybody and their grandma was sending me credit card applications. And when I was at work, I really thrived on recognition. And I really liked the praise of a job well done and getting a bonus and stuff like that. Being disabled and at home, I don't get that anymore. I don't have anything feeding my need for praise. That sounds horrible, but it's a true thing. I need praise. And when I would fill out a credit card application and get that approval, it stroked my ego. It felt good. And then spending all the money and getting the packages in the mail, it felt good. Having to pay them did not. And then I got to the point where my financial situation was getting tighter and tighter. And I learned this is a real thing. It was easier to pay for things with credit than with the money in my bank account. Because when I spend the money in my bank account, it would trigger that fear of, I'm going to run out. I'm not going to have any more money. But if I would spend the credit, there was this feeling of like, that's not really my money. So, which is totally not true. Because my credit cards have high interest rates. Most of them are like 25% interest. And I'm paying on that every month instead of paying my living expenses. And it's like, it's not smart. especially I have a financial background, so you'd think I know better, right? But with sacrificing, all the weight loss, I've lost 110 pounds, and I can't get the joy from food that I once did. I turned to shopping, which, it's just another addiction. And so, yeah, I've learned a very hard lesson. I feel like I'm done with that part of my life now. Wish me luck. I'm going to sell my house, I'll pay off my credit card debt, and I'm not going to get myself in that situation again. But yeah, so these credit card companies were more than willing to lend me way more than I could pay back. And then when you get in that situation, you need a loan to pay off your credit cards, there are these loan companies that are even worse. And I just wish I wish there was something I could do for people to help them not to fall into the same trap that I did. It's really sad. And the insurance companies, they don't want to pay our disability. They don't want to pay for expensive medical treatments. I mean, they're constantly trying to deny claims and my insurance, for the health insurance and the disability insurance. And it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. So I was trying not to make this sound depressing, but I did want to talk to you guys about that. So I'm having to take this one step at a time because my anxiety is at an all-time high, and, having to, and here's another thing. So there have been a couple times when I was scheduled for therapy, mental therapist, and I didn't feel well enough for the appointment, so I had to cancel. And so I'm being charged for those visits, and I don't have the money to pay for them, and I can't see my therapist until I pay them, and they said they can't bill the insurance for those. So I'm going through all this, and I don't have access to my therapist. It's just so frustrating. It's like everything. I wonder what's going on in astrology to explain all this money stuff. But yeah, it's hard and it's stressful. And so I just wanted to share that with you. So I'm going to sell my house. And here's a cool thing. We're going to put into the contract that we get to rent the house back for 2 months. It's great to have a seller's market when you're trying to sell. And so within that 2 months, we need to get our credit better and buy a new place to live. Because at this moment, I don't know where we're going to live after we move out of this house. So, yeah. But, so in getting ready for the house, my husband and I have both been sick, and he's so bad I took him to the emergency room last night. And getting a house ready to sell is a lot of physical labor. So what have we done? We had the realtor come. First we checked out this service called opendoor.com. And they were going to give us a lot of money for our house, and we wouldn't have had to do any repairs or showings or anything, which is very appealing. Excuse me. But then they were only going to allow us to stay in it for 21 days after closing. And then 14 of those days, we were going to have to pay them $113 a day for the privilege of living here. And that's a lot of money. And I didn't want to have to move that fast because we don't even know where we're going yet. And so we didn't opt for that. We have an amazing realtor that we used to buy the house, and now we're using them to sell the house. And so they're helping us out and holding our hand every step of the way. The first step was they had, what was the first step? The first step, they had house cleaners come, and I told them which ones to use because I'm very sensitive to chemicals, and there's house cleaners that my daughter uses that I knew didn't make me sick. And so they came in and cleaned our house really nice. And then that afternoon, movers came in. So before that, I was packing stuff up. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Back up. The day before the cleaners, the stager came. And that's an emotional process She went through my whole house and told me what needed to be removed and how to put things to make my house look the most desirable. And I have to tell you, it's hard not to get offended when a stager is telling you how to present your home to get the most money for it. So I have to keep reminding myself, she's just trying to help me. She's not trying to offend me. But it was hard because a lot of my things that I think are really awesome and cherished, she wanted them out of sight. So yeah, that took a few hours to go through my whole house. And then the next day we had the cleaners here for a couple hours in the morning. And then in the afternoon, the movers came and they moved a lot of boxes and furniture. I had to rent a storage unit, a big one, and they put everything in the storage unit. That was a lot of work. And then yesterday morning, the carpet cleaner came. We have a 3-story townhouse. So we only have carpet on the top floor and on the stairs. So they clean the carpets, and then I put a gate up so the dogs can't go up on the top floor anymore. They're so sad. This whole process has been really hard on my animals. None of them want to eat. The cat hasn't eaten in a couple of days, and the dogs have a really hard time at mealtime. And then my husband had to go to the emergency room last night. So this has been hard on all of us. It really has. And, but I like to look on the bright side. I like to think positive. That's one of my tools that gets me through. That's why I call myself Positively Susie. And so I'm thinking the universe wants me to live on the beach. And I wasn't moving there on my own, so I needed a little push. And you don't have to believe that if you don't want to, but it makes me feel better. So that's what I'm going to believe. And so I'll let you know how this journey goes. And we are almost a year out from my gastric bypass surgery. So my plan is on July 29th to come on here and tell you how that's been. The 28th, my long-term disability is sending me to a doctor because they say my medical records don't reflect my disability. So let's hope this doctor believes me and can tell that I am truly disabled and I'm not making this up to get out of going to work. Believe it or not, I'd rather go to work. Okay, well, if anybody watches this, thank you. I love you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I am going to get some much needed rest while I can. Toodles.